My wife Ann and I are parishioners at St. Anthony's, and we're also volunteer natural family planning instructors through the Couple to Couple League, which teaches the symptothermal method of NFP. On this weekend of NFP awareness, we wanted to briefly share with you our experience with NFP. As you may know, natural family planning is an umbrella term for methods that track a woman's cycle to determine fertile times and infertile times. God designed the woman's body to be fertile only during a short time each cycle. It is up to the couples to learn to read the fertility signs to either achieve or postpone pregnancy. Using NFP allows the couple to remain faithful to their marriage vows, to love freely, totally, faithfully, and fruitfully. The couple is open to God's will while fully accepting the gifts of their spouse, including their fertility. It is highly effective, grounded in decades of research, and works with the beautiful creation of the woman's body instead of against it. Additionally, NFP is a tool that can be used to help identify, diagnose, and treat different medical conditions such as endometriosis, PCOS, and recurrent miscarriages. We have used NFP since we got married 12 years ago. We have one daughter, Charlotte, who is almost 4 years old, and a newborn, Genevieve. With 12 years of marriage under our belt, we perhaps do not fit the stereotypical image of an NFP practicing family. However, no matter your family size, NFP is a wonderful way to learn to trust in God and surrender your plans and expectations for your family to God's perfect plan. When Ann and I started dating, we were both strong in our Christian faith, but had very different views of the Catholic Church and the teachings on contraceptives. I was raised Baptist, and Ann is a Credo Catholic. I remember the first discussion we had about NFP. It was not a particularly positive one. As an outsider to a chaotic life of Ann's family of 9, I was skeptical. However, I loved Ann and knew it was a very important issue to her. While I remained skeptical of the teaching for some time, I respected Ann's desire to be in sync with her body and to avoid synthetic chemicals with many side effects. During our engagement, I joined the Catholic Church and gained a deeper understanding of the Church's teachings. We also completed an NFP course.
We were married the summer before my senior year of college, and in the beginning, using NFP caused me anxiety. I had resistance to handing over this part of my life to God. I felt that a baby at that time would ruin both my athletic and engineering careers. Nick was my rock during this period and helped me to see the lack of trust I had in God's plan. Not only his plan for starting a family, but also my weariness about the transition after graduating from college. He reminded me that if I did unexpectedly conceive, that child would be coming into a loving family, and while unplanned, would be a blessing. Through using NFP, God was teaching us how to trust in his plan in every aspect of our lives. The first few years of our marriage held uncertainty about our future. Nick graduated during a recession, and it took him a few years to find a suitable job. I was the primary breadwinner, or as Nick says, his sugar mama. I knew the reality of how difficult it can be to gain experience and respect if a woman is both fresh out of school and a brand new mother. Through much prayer and discussion, we discerned to avoid children for a few years until I could obtain my professional engineering license. We regularly reevaluated our course, and our conversations were always centered around what would be best for our future family. Of course, decisions about financials and work distribution are unique to the family and are likely to change over the course of a marriage. God chooses to bless couples with children under many different circumstances, planned or unplanned. This was our plan, as best as we could discern God's will at the time. However, we continue to leave the door open to God, particularly in the area of natural family planning. 5 years into our marriage, I successfully obtained my PE license. According to our carefully laid out plan, it was time to start our family. However, that was not God's plan, not just yet. I started experiencing severe chronic health issues. I went from a marathon athlete to struggling daily with intense fatigue. It was clear that I needed to focus on my health and determine the underlying cause of my symptoms. This was a very challenging time. Included in the frustrations was our difficulty in accepting how our lives were deviating from our vision. Nick always prioritized my physical and mental needs, but was disappointed at times that we were being called to postpone starting our family. He envisioned that by 30, he would have a successful job, a house, and a couple of kids. That's not where we were. I spent 4 years getting to the root of my illness. Throughout my investigations, the data I obtained from NFP charting was highly valuable. My chart was a report card for me as I underwent treatment. The results of charting and tracking hormonal type symptoms were sometimes the clearest indicator whether a particular treatment was working. I knew that those issues would have been present but masked if I were on hormonal birth control. Having that data made me feel empowered as I worked with my doctors to heal holistically. Despite being challenging, that time was also a precious gift. I was able to focus on my health and accommodate the demands of time, energy, and finances. Nick gave his unyielding support and recognized that for that season, being generous meant setting aside his desire for children. After 7 years of using NFP to postpone children, it was not easy to switch to trying to conceive. While I experienced significant healing, I still had health challenges. Conversely, Nick had waited patiently and was more than ready to start our family. During this discernment period, Nick and I were able to rely on the foundation we had built over the years of using NFP, which facilitated regular conversations about our vision for our family. Where I had hesitation and doubt, I was able to anchor myself in Nick's confidence in God's next steps for our family. After all the time improving my health and regulating my cycles, God blessed us with pregnancy quickly.
As we've shared with you today, NFP has been a tremendous source of blessing in our marriage. It has enabled us to grow closer as a couple and improve our discernment and acceptance of God's plan for us. We have been grateful to have an effective method to rely on as we work through unexpected challenges while also remaining fully open to life and to God's plan. NFP has had such a positive effect on us that we felt called to share our experience and knowledge with other couples.